Let's rebuild the Miami Heat with Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, I will have to add the picks in as we go, as most of the picks in this deal actually aren't even available for me to trade yet. But looking at the return Milwaukee got, they did a pretty good job, I think. Moving off a guy like Giannis is never something you want to have to do. But when that does become reality, you want to get a good return to kickstart your new rebuild. And I think getting a guy like Kasparas Giacochonis in addition to the other pieces they added, this is a pretty good return. On the flip side, I completely understand why the Heat made this move. They've been looking for a star to pair with Bam for quite a while now, and when a top five player like Giannis becomes available, you just have to do what you have to do to land him. Considering I do believe he will be re-signing in Miami, you have a guy like him for, hopefully the rest of his prime and even some after. You're immediately hoping to be a contender, and that is our job here today to make sure they do become one. Now, the flip side of things here is that while they did go get Giannis, which is awesome, this roster is very gutted. Andrew Wiggins did opt into his contract here in the game, so we do at least have him on this team, but the rest of the roster is looking rough. Obviously, Bam is here, and Bam and Giannis should be one of the best defensive front courts we've ever seen. But past that, Pele Larson's still here. Getting Bobby Portis was nice for front court depth, but Davion Mitchell is likely going to be a starter right now. Currently, Norman Powell is an unrestricted free agent, so we have to make sure to get him back. And the rest of it is just looking rough. So we have quite a bit of work to do, and there are a few areas I want to focus on addressing in this first offseason. Now, I may or may not have been 3 seasons into this rebuild previously before my entire files got corrupted, so I do have a bit of insight here. And one thing that is going to happen after this season is Norman Powell is going to regress heavily. So the first thing we want to do is orchestrate some kind of sign and trade with him. And I would love to land a lead guard in that, or maybe some draft capital to kind of fill our cupboard back up after all of those picks got moved for Giannis. In addition, I do want to address the depth here, and 2 things we'll be looking for in that. The main thing will be shooting. Obviously, floor spacing is going to be a huge issue for this team, and they need to address that immediately. But as well, we want to get some secondary creation. I think the idea of a Giannis and Bam pick and roll is super exciting, and Giannis can operate as the ball handler. But Giannis is also a very, very effective screener. So we want to find a guard who can operate the pick and roll well with Giannis and kind of give them multiple options in their half-court offense. So regardless whether or not we are able to land a lead guard in the Norman Powell trade that we hope to have happen for us, we'll look to address guard, shooting, and just some versatility overall, some depth here with this roster to hopefully make this team, a playoff contender and hopefully a championship contender right away. All right, we're getting active right away. First of all, bringing back Norman Powell. Again, he will be moved pretty much immediately. But also 2 guys who I think will be good additions here is one, Luke Kennard. He is not going to make the minimum this offseason. His shooting is just too valuable. But hey, if I can get him for that here, I'll take it, as well as Colin Gillespie here. 3-year deal. He's 27 years old. I love the idea of him being our 6th man or maybe even a 7th guy. Just a guard off the bench who not only can create, but also is a very good shooter. It's a great fit for this roster. I think all of these moves will make sense, and we will look to add a few more free agents, and then we will see what we can get with the Norman Powell trade. Okay, so this is a move that isn't my best offer. I'll be honest, I have some much better offers here that I like a lot more. But for the sake of it being the first year, I don't want to make things too crazy. For one, Tyler Hero would make a ton of sense on this roster. I think Giddey could make sense here. Keaton Wagler, yeah, that would be awesome. As well as some offers like Mikal Bridges. There was one more here. Yegor Demon would be a good pickup. And additionally, Jeremiah Fears, the Thompson twins were both offered to me. All of those contracts, players' contracts, they all make more sense, but those are all incredibly unrealistic. And while I probably will get unrealistic as I continue to struggle down the road, I'm sure, I don't want to make year 1 too unrealistic. And I think the Spurs will look to move off De'Aaron Fox's contract soon after his final performance. And I think De'Aaron Fox's skill set makes a lot of sense here in Miami. So we're going to go ahead and make this move, getting a pick back as well. We get better. They're going to get some cap flexibility. And before Norman Powell regresses, we get something in return for him. So again, I would love to make one of those other moves, but for now, this is what we're going to go ahead and do. And later on, when things probably get more unrealistic as we go, maybe I move on from De'Aaron Fox and go after a bigger name guy. But that is the idea now. So I will need to upgrade at shooting guard, and our starting five is starting to look a hell of a lot better. All right, here is our rotation for the start of the first season. I think if the Heat could have this 10-man rotation for year one, they'd be pretty happy about it. De'Aaron Fox, we'll see. I know he wasn't great in the finals, but I think he does make sense on this roster. We had a Cam Spencer here. The idea at shooting guard is we're just going to rotate sharpshooters between him and Luke Kennard for the floor spacing this team will desperately need. Andrew Wiggins, we'll see how he plays. He may be a trade candidate, especially considering his contract's expiring. If he wants a lot of money, we're just not going to be able to bring him back. He doesn't quite fit this roster. Then off the bench, we have Bobby Portis, Gillespie, Pele Larson here. Dean Wade, I signed him, and Luke Kennard. We also went and got Chris Middleton. I think Giannis just really enjoys playing with him. And that really is the roster. So the depth is much better than it was when we inherited the team. The starting five looks better. I think that this team will have a chance to do quite a bit here in this first season. I'm not going to do this, but let me know if in future rebuilds I can, because I would love to. Getting OG on this roster as well as we already have would be a pretty spectacular fit. But we're not going to do that because it's early, and that's incredibly unrealistic. What we are going to do, however, is extend both Wiggins and Larson. They both want to come back. Wiggins wanted $15 million a year. We can definitely afford that for how he's playing for us. So we will re-sign Wiggins for now. He still may get moved later if I'm not winning enough games. And then I think Larson as well wants to re-sign for a good contract at 80 overall, 25 years old. We'll take that also. But if you guys want to see things just get way unrealistic, I will. But for now, I'm going to keep things kind of cordial, and maybe later in the rebuild, if things aren't going our way, we'll start blowing it up a little bit. All right, in year one, Giannis does win MVP, which I think the Heat would be just overwhelmed with joy to see him win that award. Dybansta does win Rookie of the Year. I usually see Peterson win that award in these simulations, as Spoelstra does win Coach of the Year, and we also win Executive of the Year, as we have a very nice competitive record. There's obviously Giannis on the first team. We'll see if maybe Bam makes a defensive team. He does, as well as Giannis on the first team, and we should not have any rookies to account for. So this team obviously played very well, earning the 1 seed in the East. Obviously, that's the goal, right? You have Giannis. It's time to contend, win championships. 57-25 was probably good enough for the best record in the NBA. It was. So we'll see how he played, and let's get into the playoffs. All right, Giannis obviously played well enough to earn MVP, so we're happy with his numbers. De'Aaron Fox, this is what I thought he could do on this team, especially here in 2K. 22 points, 6 assists is exactly what we were looking for. Shot 37% from 3, so not great, but definitely serviceable. Bam played well also. Portis was great off the bench. And then Wiggins did his job. I believe he was shooting north of 40% from 3, which is really why I was okay keeping him around. Colin also played well. We probably need some more production from our shooting guard spot, as it looks like Kennard is out for the playoffs. But I'm assuming Cam Spencer did shoot 40% from 3. So while he's not doing anything crazy, he is doing exactly what we signed him to do. After the play-in, we are taking on the Pacers, which is not at all who I wanted to see. Halliburton terrifies me here. This roster looks pretty much exactly the same as it does in real life. Nothing too crazy to account for here. But again, just not the guy you want to run into in the first round, especially after you earn a 1 seed. So we'll go game by game here, as we do lose game 1. We take game 2. We take game 3. They take game 4. They take game 5. I swear to God. This game sucks. This game sucks. I don't know why I play this game. Okay, well now I'm pissed off and it's time to make some moves. All right, we're going to see here if the Blazers, who took Braylon Mullins at 5, much higher than I expected them to go in the game. I think in real life, he could be a top 5 pick. He's a very talented player. I just think he makes a ton of sense on this team with his shooting and his other skill sets to be our future and current 2 guard. And he's also going to be cheap. So we're going to see if we can do something just straight up here with Wiggins. And they want some picks, which is completely fair. Let me make sure that the picks I'm going to trade we do actually own, because this obviously I'm working with the trade not having all the picks in the game yet. So give me 1 second. Okay, so we do own our 2028 pick. Okay, lottery protected, they take it. Simple as that. So Wiggins was a good player for us, but I think it'll be easier to upgrade the small forward position than it would be to get a shooting guard of this caliber, especially on a rookie contract. I just think he's the perfect fit with the other three guys that we have locked in the starting lineup right now. So very, very happy with this move. All right, here's the rotation for the start of the second season. Mullins is a little injured, which is why they have him suggested to be arrested. He will be a starter for us this year. The obvious thing to upgrade here is small forward if we can. We just could use a better player there. Nothing against Larson. I just would like to have, a more now ready player, just a more guy who's going to compete for championships right now as a starting small forward. So we may look to move him with a package of like maybe Jovic, or I'm not quite sure yet. Maybe one of the guys down here like Dean Wade or Cam Johnson. We'll figure it out, but he could be on the move. Other than that, I think this rotation is actually pretty damn good. We've done a good job addressing depth. We got Danny Wolf for a cheap contract. I think he makes sense here on this team. So we'll see how we do, but I think this is a pretty damn good rotation. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, I did try this already once before my files got corrupted, and this is going way better than it did in my first run through. So we'll see how we do, but I am pretty excited for this second season. All right, we have found our guy at small forward. The team is not playing well enough, so I've decided, hey, let's start pushing the boundaries of this thing a little bit here. And Peyton Watson became available, and while I'm sure Giannis will not be thrilled that Chris Middleton is being traded, I think he'll be happy to win some more games. I will say, if you're upset about this trade, I did have an offer for Kawhi that was actually less than what they want for Peyton Watson. So I didn't do that. So lay off me a little bit here. Let's get better. Let's go win a championship. All right, Wemby wins MVP in year two. Also, Defensive Player of the Year. Cam Whitmore wins Most Improved. Coach of the Year goes to Chris Finch, as they also earn Executive of the Year. Giannis does make the first team All NBA, and I'm not sure besides defensive teams here. Yeah, we won't see anybody else, but Braylon Mullins is an all rookie guy, which is good to see. So we did not play quite as well this year. We were injured for a majority of the season, and that kind of just got to us, it seems like. I do believe we finished with 44 wins, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 44 and 38. And De'Aaron Fox does have a high ankle sprain. Where have I seen that before? That is terrible news. But Giannis played well. I mean, these numbers kind of just got a bit worse, but I do think we are improving the depth of this team. So hopefully, even if this year kind of becomes a wash, I think we're starting to build a much better foundation here. But definitely, every year we get older, Giannis gets older, Bam gets older, De'Aaron Fox now gets older. It's going to become harder and harder to win. So we want to win now. That's why they got Giannis, was to win now, not in 5 years. So we have got to figure out how to do that. Playing down De'Aaron Fox is going to be tough, especially when your first round matchup is the Pistons. Obviously, this roster is very talented. They have one of the best players in the NBA with Cade Cunningham. And they've also added Michael Porter Jr. here as well as Colin Sexton. I actually think this roster has gotten a bit worse compared to where they are in real life. So we'll see. We'll see what we can do. All right, game one. Where is Sim Game? Here it is. Game one goes to us. Game two goes to them. Game three goes to them. Game four goes to them. And it looks like we will be a first round exit in back-to-back seasons. That is so frustrating. I feel like this roster is far better than that. I guess we have work to do. All right, now that I'm getting pissed off as we have lost in the first round in back-to-back seasons, going to go ahead and expand what I am willing to do, and I will be trading for Keontae George here. This will get us a bit out of cap hell. We're still going to be paying a lot of money to our main guys, but also De'Aaron Fox is 30 off a high ankle sprain. I'm wondering if he's due for a regression. And Keontae George is 24 years old, and one big piece of this is he shoots the ball much better, which we could use, of course, in our starting lineup. So I'm making this move. I think it's a good one. Hopefully it helps. All right, here's the year three rotation. I once again think this looks pretty good, but we're starting to see that regression I talked about with Giannis and Bam and Bobby Portis as well. But down the bench, I think it just looks pretty good. We'll see what we can do. I mean, we're getting to that point where we'll have to start getting pretty aggressive if we're not playing good enough basketball. But man, I like this roster. I really do. I just think it's a good enough team to go compete and contend. But we will see what happens. All right, we're here at the deadline, and we currently have been just very injured this season. Both Bam and Keontae George have been out for a lot of the first half here. We're still playing all right, but we want to play better. And Pinda and Cole Anthony are not in my rotation. And AJ Mitchell would be our brand new sixth man. We'll move him to shooting guard so we can still have Gillespie do his thing as our backup point guard. He's been playing too well to move. And then it'll, I think, improve our bench production a bit. Hopefully when we get healthy, we can hit our full stride and get moving. So I think this is a good move for us here. The contract's a bit big, but we can always move it later if we need to. And we get a second-round pick in return. Wemby wins his second MVP here in year 3. CJ Roster wins Rookie of the Year. AJ Johnson is a six-man. Wemby's your DPOY. Most Improved Player is a name that I cannot pronounce. And the Jazz are really coming on here. Giannis, once again, an All-NBA first-team player. I don't know if we'll see anybody else on any of these teams besides our star, and we will not. So after spending a majority of the year injured, we do earn a 4 seed, but again, just can't seem to get over that hump. 47-35 this year. We're a better team than that, but man, we just cannot stay healthy. Giannis once again plays great basketball. Keontae George does well. Bam was playing well, but again, he is just hurt all the time. AJ Mitchell was a big addition for us. Braylon Mullins continues to play well. And then down the board, you can see what the rest of this team is doing. I like this roster. I just don't know if they have enough. Now, we continue our onslaught of tough first-round matchups, taking on the Celtics here with Tatum and Brown. We know what they have. Very good team. It's just going to be tough. I mean, it's just going to be tough to win this series. I'd love to win one, though. It'd be awesome. All right, here we go. Let's send the play in and see what we can do against the Celtics. Game 1 goes to us. Game 2 goes to them. Game 3 goes to them. Game 4 goes to us. Dude, please, come on. Throw me a bone. Let's go. Game 5 goes to us. Yes, out of the first round. Wow, that was really hard. You only have Giannis Antetokounmpo on your team. My God. And now we have the Hawks. I know their roster simulates very well. Let's see who they have. Yeah, so Richier becomes a 90 overall, which is just absurd. They still have Dyson Daniels. They have Asa Newell now. I think they drafted him. Okay, apologies. I must have forgot about that. Jalen Johnson is hurt, though, which is huge for us. And here is the rest of their roster. So their depth is probably better than ours, but we obviously have the best player on the floor with Giannis. Playing 40 minutes a night, we've got to he's got to play as much as he possibly can. I think we have a good chance to win this, but God only knows what 2K is going to do to me. Game 1 goes to them. Game 2 goes to them. Game 3 goes to them. Game 4 goes to them. How the hell does that team sweep us? I mean, seriously? On to your 4. I completely forgot that I even did this. I traded, I think, Danny Wolf for a pick swap a year or two ago. That got us a second overall pick. I'm in the draft, right? I almost simmed the draft. I forgot I even had it. I didn't watch the lottery. So we had the second overall pick. What a gift from God here. I don't even know what I'm going to do with it. I haven't even thought about it yet, but obviously I had to show you guys. Give me a minute. I don't really know what I'm going to do here. Okay, as I'm sure you can tell, my frustration is boiling here as we just continue to struggle. What I'm going to do with this pick is trade it for the guy who got taken first overall and a Diamara as well. This obviously is very unrealistic, but I'm pissed. He's the best player in this draft. I would have traded up for him if I would have known I had the second overall pick anyway, and then we will figure out how to make our front court work later. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do. And now we have some flexibility, some guys we can maybe move. We just got a lot better. Okay, we obviously have an abundance of point guards and centers. So I'm going to see if we can't package some of these guys together and upgrade at small forward to earn Grady Dick onto the roster. We do. I think that's a big move for us. We just have not gotten enough production out of that position. and we just had too many guys at too many spots, the same spots. So that'll clear up some just log jams at point guard and center while also acquiring one of our biggest needs. Here is the rotation for the start of year 4. Obviously seeing some regression now with Giannis and Bam, but man, the depth on this team, I mean, this is the best team we've had. These guys have gotten worse, but everyone else has gotten better. We've added some youth. I mean, this is a good team. If we're going to do it, I think it's going to be this year. I also signed Joel Embiid as well. I thought maybe we can win him a championship. If we can get past the second round, that would be pretty awesome. Wemby wins his 3rd straight MVP. We do have Rookie of the Year with Aiden Diggs. We probably won't win many more awards, though, as we were injured all season. Once again, there's Giannis on the 3rd team this year, and we will have Diggs, of course, on the rookie first team. We finished the year at like 42-40, I think. But fans of the Heat would probably tell you that the play-in is where they love to be. So maybe we capture some of that magic here. I just don't see it. The depth in this team is so much better. I think they're actually in a pretty good spot for the future, too. It's just we're not winning games. So we're taking on the Sixers here with Joel Embiid on our team, and we do win and earn a spot in the playoffs. So that's good at least. All right, so this Pistons roster, they added Walker Kessler and Tyler Hero. 2 great additions, actually. Yeah, this probably won't go very well. We'll see. Game 1 goes to them. Game 2 goes to us. Game 3 goes to them. Game 4 goes to them. And there you go. Oh, shit. We're in the second round. This is the Bulls roster that we're facing. How did they earn a 3 seed? I just don't understand the simulation in this freaking game, man, at all. Let's shorten our rotation up. Oh, somebody's hurt. Who is it? Bam? Oh, it's our star rookie. Okay, that's just fantastic. We're so much better than this Bulls team, but we do win game 1 and game 2 and game 3. Hold on. We're in the conference finals. Okay, but we are facing the Death Star here with the Hawks. They obviously beat our ass last year, and the game just absolutely adores these guys for a reason that I don't quite understand. This is definitely a better roster than us, as we win game 1 and game 2. What is going on right now? They win game 3. We win game 4. Come on, don't do this to me. We're in the finals. We're in the finals. Hold on. Okay. Darren Peterson develops very well in this, but Giannis, put the team on your back, buddy. Go get us a damn championship. I want to post this. Come on. So here's looking at this roster, Darren Peterson's obviously a beast, but past that, they have good depth, but guys, I'm telling you, look at our rotation. Look at this rotation. This is a really good 9-man rotation. Like, this is a good... I think we're better than them. Like, I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I really do. Game 1 goes to us. Game 2 goes to them. Game 3 goes to us. Game 4 goes to them. No. Come on, Giannis. Come on, Giannis. We're going to simcast this. We're going to simcast this. Here we go. Okay, they're kind of beating our ass. Come on, boys. Oh, my God. Come on. Close it out. No. That'll do it. Pretty tough to compete against that guy. All right, guys, that is going to do it for me. I just don't think this team is going to get that much better in the 5th year, unfortunately. We got really close. That first year, I thought we had a chance, and then this last year kind of came out of nowhere. I do feel like with Giannis and Bam both extended. All these guys are under good contracts. There's so much good young talent on this roster too that maybe it's possible, but I just if it's not hasn't worked now, I just don't know if it's going to. Um, Damn man, I thought we were good enough, but I guess we just weren't. So, thank you for watching. If I can be a little less realistic and push for a championship more early in future rebuilds, let me know. Otherwise, maybe next I will see you guys with a LaMelo Timberwolves rebuild or something like that. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So, thanks again for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one.